Good morning, traders. John from Crypto Candlestick Trading. I just wanted to do a quick update on Bitcoin and where we are. We've had a very good night last night, 10% increase or something like that. I'm always looking for when we're down in these lows, like in these low kind of areas here. I'm looking for this day here, and this day here I kind of refer to as the turn of the tide. We can see here it's kind of dull and heading down and all that sort of stuff, and then all of a sudden, bang! Something has happened with the sentiment of the traders has just gone bang. I don't care what anyone's doing. I'm buying this thing. And so that's what we see here. So just going through basically how this is formed, we can see there's a increase in green volume in this area here, with stochastics coming out of oversold. We do have reversal, but it's very indecisive reversal. And then we've got a continuation of the downtrend, which is, like just exactly what it says. It looks like it. And so I traded that. We don't win all the trades that we get into. So anyway, I ended up getting stopped out of this one. But looking at this here, I'm not interested in buying this one right now. There's a few things that are a problem with it, and then it's trading below the 50-day moving average for starters. And also, I'm not really interested in buying Bitcoin anyway. I want to go and see what the other leaders are doing. Like, what are the best ones doing? That Bitcoin is the slower one. I want to be on the faster money. But I just wanted to go through and show you what I'm talking about a follow, like this day here that turns the tide. So here we can see that, we've had a good increase, around about here of good buying volume. We've got very small red volume happening around here. And then all of a sudden we've got one that dominates the previous red volume. It smashes the candle, and the volume. And that's what we've got here. Coming out of the lows, this works very well. And so, I usually give this around about a 7 out of 10 chance of success, this one here. However, the only thing that I don't like about it is, or adds to its, like its potential failure, is that it's under the major moving average and it's still around about a little bit of resistance in this area. We have done some great things, and these usually do work very well. I've just gone through history and just had a look, and I just want to show you a few more examples of what I'm talking about, just so you can get a better picture. Here we are, we've had a decline, and we've got some, like there's quite a bit of selling volume here, and we've got a little bit of a decline in the red volume here, but all of a sudden we've got a massive big green one here. Stochastics are kind of coming out of oversold, but this big green one here dominates all the other attempted selling that was happening beforehand. And so we've got, a well above average volume, and we've got a very good strong closing candle, which is good. So let's go back and let's go and have a look at another one. So this one here, we can kind of see that we've come down here. I do like that massive engulfing that's closed above the 9. Like, actually, this is where I got in at this stage here back then. And so we've come out of stochastics coming out of oversold. We've got a increase in selling volume on this side here. But look at this, we've got a lack of turnover. There's no selling that's happening whatsoever in here. And then all of a sudden, bang. So even if there was any sellers here, they're being completely dominated by this candle here. Sorry, by this volume. But the only problem is with this one here is the candle. It's gone up and then it's pulled back and closed around about there. But as you can see, this still worked. Here we've got an increase in the selling volume on the decline, which isn't very good. And then we've got another massive one there, but it's another, small sort of a candle. So these are close to, but they're not exactly like what I'm looking for when it comes to that. But however, that massive volume on those last ones with those sort of candles does definitely stand out to me. And so here we are again, this also works a lot better when you're coming out of a low instead of when you're coming out of somewhere high like this. But, the main point of it is there's small candles and there's, an attempted sell-off, or, like a lack of trading, and then bang, like this here. So here we've got, the small trading, a sell-off attempt, and then bang, well above average. And we've got a nice big solid candle to go with that. Now this one here, we've kind of done the same again, like it's small kind of trading, and then all of a sudden, it's dominated on this candle here. We're 50% at least, probably well and truly more above average volume with a massive candle like that. And so this here again, so here we are, we've got a decline in volume in selling, and actually I'll just bring that up to there, and I'll just increase that size of that candle so you can kind of get a better look at it. So here we are, we've had a decline in selling, a decline in any sort of action really. And so basically this is saying that there's no liquidity. So if big money were hanging around trying to pick up any more sales, there's no one else selling. And then all of a sudden we've got this bang, a good, it's a good solid candle. It's closed above there. So, I definitely would have been involved in, interested in this one here. But we can see that there's good action, from back here as well. The only thing is this volume doesn't really coincide with what I'm talking about. So, you know, we've got a little bit of an increase. We've got increase in selling volume, and then we've got this one here, bang, like that. So that's the sort of thing that I'm after. I want domination after any sort of, and I prefer to see a little bit of selling, but decline in selling. This is showing a bit of strength in the selling, which I don't really like to see if I'm going to be buying these kind of things. Here we can see that we've got some, you know, we're coming out of a low. We've got some good buying volume, and we've got some pretty strong selling volume there too. And then all of a sudden, turn around, bang, and that's what happened. But with this one here, we can see that we're under the 50-day moving average. And have a look at the behavior before we actually took off. And you know, it wasn't until we closed above the 50 that this was actually confirmed. If you would have got into here, you know, like you probably would have been stopped out. You know, going below that swing low there, or it would have been just on there. So you know, with these kind of entries here below the 50, they do have more risk. I would much rather enter these when they're above the 50. But this is this is more about getting an early entry. So, and then looking at this one here, so we've kind of come along, you know, down, then we've got the red, and then, you know, about 150%, you know, so 50% above average volume, and we've got a good solid closing candle there, and I think that that is above the 50 actually. Yes, it is. So, you know, that being above the 50 with, you know, good stuff happening there. Stochastics coming out of oversold. Yep, I do like that one. So that's the sort of thing that I'm looking for. I'm just going to get rid of these drawings now, and we'll just go back to the start, like where I was. So I hope that gives you a bit of an indication as to what I'm looking at for a potential entry here with Bitcoin. So what a lot of the professional traders will do is they'll start to look around now for entries in, you know, like DOT, Ethereum, FTM, you know, like all these ones down here on the right hand side, or the big leaders that have proven themselves in today's market. You know, like they're the ones that big money is going to be looking for entry positions. However, now that's all the good news. So let's just have a look at what this isn't. And we all know that when we're trading below the 50-day moving average, there's a stronger element of risk. You know, there's this here, it could work, and it's, you know, it actually looks like it does. You know, it probably will work because the volume of just what I've been through. So, you know, it is looking good, but for me, I would be happy to wait, you know, till it closed above the 50, pull back to the 50, and then gave us some sort of a reason to buy after that. Or even if it just closed, like, you know, if it hovered around a little bit sideways or whatever, and then gave us a good close above the 50, then I could probably be interested in it. But this here, this doesn't really go with our rules for the longer term trading if we're looking at it like that. You know, it's a good day and all that sort of stuff, but has it really done what we, you know, like what, you know, it hasn't. It's just given us a good trading day, but it hasn't had confirmation yet. You know, we haven't had proof. Even though like a lot of the big fund managers and stuff would call this confirmation. For me, I know that trading below these major moving averages, I have, you know, parted with, you know, with my money trading below these moving averages. You know, for, you know, if I want to load up my account and start heading to the north, you know, like I'm just after more proof in the pudding. But then again, that's not to say that you can't go around and start looking at some of the other leaders, you know, the ones that are looking strong and the best setups, and, you know, like placing a small position on each of those, you know, just one or two, just to see, you know, but then buying more after this market proves strength. Because at the moment we don't have strength, you know. Oh, sorry, we've got strength, but we don't have, you know, like proof. I like a secondary confirmation of proof. So what I'll be waiting for there is definitely a clear break of the 50, maybe a pullback, bit of sideways trading, and then another break above that, you know. So that's the sort of thing that I'm after. We'll just go through and have a quick look at some of the other cryptos. Same again, below the 50. Let's just have a look, because Ethereum does hold some pretty good weight, you know, like, but, you know, have a look at that straight away. So we've got Ethereum, which is, you know, resistance, breakthrough, come back, support, breakthrough, come back. Now we found resistance at that same support level. So, and also another thing here, you know, we've got some really good volume accumulation here, which is good. And this is actually, look, you can see this reversal too. I'll just open that up a little bit. So we can see this reversal because, you know, a huge sell-off happened, and then all of a sudden massive buying came back in. So about 9 out of 10 of, you know, or 8 out of 10 of the traders that had sold, or, you know, whoever sold, you know, like 80% of the sellers got replaced with buyers. You know, so this was a lot of buying happening in this candle here. And then we're heading down, and then if we can see this one here, we're at a decline in volume. If this was a big, strong, solid candle, I'd be interested, you know, in that one there. But we are in a downtrend, you know, so, and then heading down to here, this one here doesn't have as much strength. You know, even though it's a very solid candle, it doesn't have as much strength, and we are at resistance. So let's just keep on going down and have a look. Yep, that looks pretty good, but where's the volume? There's a red flag for me. That's pretty good, but we're below average volume. That's not very good. FTM, like I'm looking at these things for a potential buy. I want to see something strong and real, like on Bitcoin. And at the moment, we're not seeing that. Like why is the market delaying? I also saw that Facebook was down 20%. It's down 27% after earnings, but I also saw that Amazon was up like hugely because of their $4.50 earnings surprise, which is very big news. Now look at this, Tezos. So here I was thinking that Tezos, could very well reverse here and start heading down. But have a look at that. We've got some good volume that's come in here, but we're at the 50. And like have a look here. Last time it hit the 50, hit the 50, hit the 50, hit the 50, and now we're at the 50 again. But also here's another thing to keep in mind. We've come all the way down from $2.50 up to $4 in what a week or 10 days or whatever. 10 days, and so that's a massive run in its on its own. Is it sustainable for this to just keep on powering through, or does it need a breather and then we take off again after that? One thing we can do, actually, let's just have a look. If we take those wicks away and have a look at the support line there, so there's a lot of traders that will trade the bodies and they'll make that their baseline, and a lot of traders also trade the wicks. So and I'm sure there's half the traders out there now doing exactly what I just did then and moving this support and resistance line to see what makes sense. Here we've got resistance, support, and now I found resistance. We've got massive volume that's coming into this too though. So, but is this sustainable? It's already gone up like, let's have a look percentage wise. Just have a quick, so that's gone up 60% actually, I'll just say that. So it's 11 days and it's gone up 60%. So, 60%, that's a very good increase. And it's that resistance now. It's probably time for a bit of a breather, which is what I'll be thinking anyway. I like to buy these rocket boosters after they've pulled back a little bit. This is another thing. If you're not in now, or like you just want to sit on the sidelines and wait, there's nothing wrong with that whatsoever. That's what I'm going to be doing anyway. I want it to go up and then pull back, close below the 9 or find support on the 50 or something like that, and then give me a rocket boost or an engulfing pattern off there. I want second confirmation to be buying this thing. I don't really want to be looking at buying this now, especially when we're at solid resistance like this and the 50. It's good, but it's just not excellent. Oh, where was I? Tezos. Now, yep, next one. So same again here. The volume, it's just okay on this one here. Just kind of like, yep, not really all that excited about that one for sure. It just looks okay. We still looks like we're trending down. We've had just a bit of an uptick, like an update and a downtrend on that one there. This one here, no, look at the volume. There's nothing there. Not interested. This one here, nice breakout. Like, it's good. It does look good, I have to say. On Matic, that does actually look good. Where would I be expecting it to go to? First point would be this downtrend line. Second point would be that resistance line. Could we get a spike just up to there and then pull back below? That's highly possible too. But this breakout, that volume there on that breakout, stochastics oversold. Yep, that's good. And have a look at the volume that came back into the market on these 2 days here. So that's massive reversal sort of volume. I just don't like the volume on the breakout here. That just doesn't look very strong. And yeah, this is looking good. Okay, so now we can have a look at this. Even though we've got declining volume, I want to see this. So we've come down, bounced on the 200, come up, found resistance, pull back, and then we've got, it's almost, is it really a, that's looking like a rocket booster engulfing. It's not quite though. So, I wouldn't have taken this trade anyway, simply because it's under the downtrend line and under the 50. And yeah, it's just not, it's not an engulfing, it's just good. So what I'm looking for here, I want to see a close above the 50. If we get a nice solid close above the 50 with, like volume that's like one of these, 4, then I'll be interested in looking at this, looking at buying this. At the moment, no, I don't have any desire to jump into the market right now, especially on that declining volume. There's just a few things about this that are a little bit strange. Oh, here we go. One. So where's that trend line? Oh yeah, look at that. So this is looking pretty good actually. Support, not really. And then support, and then let's just have a look at what's happened off support. I like buying engulfing patterns off support. and this looks like, we've come down and we've got a nice closing above. We don't have well above average volume. It is good volume. There's no doubt about it. Stochastics coming out of oversold, closing above the 9, but we're under these major moving averages. See, there's still things that are making me hesitate in this market, and which they're good, but it's just for a trade. It's not for the long term kind of thing. We're still kind of like in wide and loose trading. Down here, yep, there's no real volume to speak of here, and that's Zcash too. So here, yep, good, pretty good volume. Yep, that's not too bad, but it's looked like sideways, choppy sort of market. I'm not really interested in that either. So here, sand got support, pulled back, resistance. Now it's the second attempt at resistance. So we've got stuff in front of us that is difficult to break through. Avalanche, let's have a look at that. I think my plan with Avalanche, who knows? I might get this right on target before we head down. Who knows? But the only thing is, there's okay volume, but I want big smashing volume on the breakout. Like if I see something like, I want to see this kind of thing here, big volume here. Have a look at this one here, like big volume there. This is what I'm after. Have a look at this candle here, massive big volume, massive big candle. That's what I'm after. And at the moment, if we have a look at these here, we've got a good candle, but we've got minimal volume. It's good, but all these resistance levels above and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, I struggled to buy those sort of things when they got that sort of resistance above them. Here we've got the same again. At the moment, we're trading between $20 and $45. And so we're right in the middle. And, we've done a reversal closing above the 200, which is nice, but we're below the 50. So, and here we can kind of see the volume. The volume has definitely picked up and the sellers have definitely declined. Stochastics coming out of oversold, which is good. Anyway, traders, for me personally, if I was to be looking at anything, it'd be shorter term time frames. I'll just go and have one more quick look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin does look good, but what I would recommend at this stage here is go back in history and just work, go through what I said about these, like the day that the tide turned. This is it. This is the day that the tide turned. But also have a look at what actually happens when we got a good surge in volume. Does it just come up to meet the 50 usually and then break down because we're in a downtrend, or does it go smashing through? And this is one thing that you need to go back and have a look in your charts to see that what did it actually do? What do you feel comfortable doing with this scenario here? At the moment, it looks really good for like a follow. We've just bang, we've changed the way the market's trading, or trending at the moment. But we've got a heavy resistance first, straight away, and then we've got resistance from back here as well. So then we've got the 200, So anyway, traders, I hope this helps. If you have any questions, let me know. I'll talk to you again soon. All right, see you.